Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to do something different. I know I usually do the video essay type of things when I try to make a YouTube video every so often or whatever. I wanted to do the All-MLB voting that just came out today. Voting is now open, so basically if you've never done this type of thing, it is a vote for the fans. They just started a couple years ago. It's kind of like all-star voting, but you don't pick based off ALNO. You pick the entire MLB, so it's mixed. So you see Pete Alonso here with Vlad Jr., and you get to pick who you think is the best, and you get to pick every single position. Like, I think it's 5 starters, 2 relievers we'll get to, I think 3 outfielders, a DH, catcher, third base, shortstop, second base, and first base. I'm going to give my opinions. I'm going to give my honest thoughts or whatever, and my thoughts are subjectable. There's going to be discourse about this probably. If you don't agree with me, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you already not. Leave a like, and let's just get into this. So, first base, I'll read through these names very quick. Pete Alonso of the New York Mets, Jake Burger of the Miami Marlins, Vlad Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays, Josh Naylor of the Cleveland Guardians, Vinny Pasquantino of the Kansas City Royals, Christian Walker of the D-backs, Matt Olson of the Braves, Bryce Harper of the Phillies, Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers, Luis Ariz of the San Diego Padres. So they look at these stats in particular: average, home run, RBI, stolen base, and your OPS. That's how all the offensive players they have for these are people that like look at the basic stats. And personally, just looking at these stats, I'm kind of going to judge that off of those because I don't want to take too much time digging more deep into everyone else's stats. If I know personally from experience watching them, though, I'll be taking that into account. But I know a lot of people will be voting based off of these numbers, kind of like they do with the all-star voting. People will vote, be like, oh, I'm going to vote my favorite player in, or I'm going to vote based off the numbers I see on the screen, unless you're like actually watching them play every so often with stats, like they're not even showing like slugging, your on-base percentage, all that type of stuff. So I'm going to put this in between 2 people personally. First base, I think power. Luis Ariz, great player, great average, great OPS, but like I thought he saw a dip in his RBI total. This was his first year with the San Diego Padres. Luis Ariz also, like, I think he just won his 3rd batting title. I think he clinched it from Shohei. And nothing but congrats to the guy for winning that 3 straight years. And especially his first year in San Diego. Great addition there. But I'm not going to pick him. Pete Alonso, I'm not going to pick. Jake Burger, great piece for the Miami Marlins. I think they need to keep him. I feel like they're going to trade him, however, sadly. And it is what it is. You can't help it. The Marlins sold off everyone, and it kind of sucks. Freddie Freeman, I thought it was a down year for Freddie power-wise. Power and RBI-wise, I'm used to more from Freddie Freeman, even average-wise. And I was kind of disappointed with Freddie Freeman this year, and that's funny to say based off of his stats. But still, great year for Freddie Freeman, but I don't think it's up to par with what he usually is or what he wants to be. Bryce Harper, amazing year. I think he's going to be an MVP candidate, in my opinion, for the NL. Matt Olson as well kind of had a down year in the RBI department. He did start out slow with a very injured Braves team. Christian Walker, pretty good year. I think that's what a lot of people expected out of Christian Walker, 26 and 84. 251 hitter, always love to be above 250. Vinny of the Kansas City Royals, what a story the Royals were this year. I'm not going to pick Vinny, but like very solid numbers for him. 262, 1997, 761 OPS. My pick is between Vlad Jr. and Josh Naylor. So Josh Naylor, more so than Vlad Jr., started out hot. His average was on fire. If you play fantasy baseball, this guy was a beast if you didn't even pick him up. I got him in free agency because no one drafted him. So that was my plan going in the draft. I had a feeling no one was going to pick up Josh Naylor. No one did. I had him and Freddie Freeman as my first base platoon. Then Josh Naylor kind of slowed down with the average. He struck out a good bit. But then Vlad Jr. at the same time was starting out very slow. But then out of nowhere, went on an absolute heater. I think he's going to be an AL MVP candidate. I think he should. For that reason, look at the OPS. 940, 792, 761, 776, 761, 803, 794, 898, 854, 738. He is the only guy on the first base candidates that have an OPS over 900. At 940, that is. The next highest is Bryce Harper at 898. I am going to take Vlad Jr. I thought all these guys has great years. If I had to rank him 1, 2, 3, Vlad Jr., Josh Naylor, Bryce Harper, personally. Second base, not a lot of options compared to first. So we got Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros, Andres Jimenez of the Cleveland Guardians, Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Bryce Terang, nice to see a Brewer on here, a different team, Marcus Semien for the Texas Rangers, Jonathan India, there's your Reds representative, and Luis Garcia Jr. of the Washington Nationals. Love to see these smaller market teams getting represented, like the Brewers, Reds, the Nationals. So Jose Altuve, I thought he had a weak year with RBIs. But at the same time, he's getting up there in age, but he's still hitting 20 home runs a year. For a second baseman, 20 home runs don't come every so often, but Jose Altuve will always be Jose Altuve. Andres Jimenez, very solid. Bryce Terang, very solid. Marcus Semien, very down year average-wise, in my opinion. It was a down year for the entire Texas Rangers team. And coming off of a World Series, I thought it was very underwhelming. Jonathan India started out slow, heated up in the middle, but he ended with a 248, 15, 58. Very solid year for Cincinnati, in my opinion. I'm happy the Reds did not trade him. I think he should be a Red for a while. I really do. I know a lot of Reds fans think they should have traded him, but with the whole Noelvi Marte situation, I think it was smart. Marte did not pan out this year when he had the chances. And Luis Garcia Jr., very solid year for the Nationals. He's a player not a lot of people talk about. The fact that he's not a well-known player, and he batted 282, 1870, 22 stolen bases, 762 OPS, and he's on this list. He's going to be more known coming into next year. Look out for Luis Garcia Jr. But I am going to pick Ketel Marte. This guy killed it this year. He's going to be an MVP candidate. I feel like he should be, in my opinion. So that's my pick. Ketel Marte, pretty easy over second base. Now, shortstop. They gave us more options here. Willy Adames of the Brewers, Elly De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds, Francisco Lindor of the Mets, Corey Seager of the Rangers, Trey Turner of the Philadelphia Phillies, Bobby Witt Jr. of the Royals, Ezequiel Tovar of the Colorado Rockies, Zach Neto of the Angels, Gunnar Henderson of the Orioles, and O'Neal Cruz of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I want to get the two Cruzes out of the way. Elly is great at stealing. O'Neal had his first full year. I'm personally a Pirates fan, and I'm not going to show any bias here. I'm happy. I love the little rivalry we got going here in the NL Central. Both of them finished with the same average. Elly and him end up tied in RBIs. Elly beats him in home runs by 4, as well in OPS and stolen bases. But Elly was stealing all year this year, and going into the season, I wanted O'Neal to be the better guy. And I think O'Neal Cruz has so much potential. He hits the ball hard. I think he had a bunch of the hardest hits this season. And I got to watch these two play a bunch of season. I went to Cincinnati for the series the Pirates played there. And Elly De La Cruz hit a ball to the riverboat in their center field. And I was like, that's impressive, man. I said that to my buddy. And then the inning later, O'Neal Cruz hit a ball farther into right field in the big seats they got over at Great American Ballpark, the whole big right field section. I was like, these guys are legit. And both of them at least got a 20-20. Elly got that at least a 20-60 with stolen bases. He was killing on stolen bases. I feel like O'Neal Cruz was holding back his speed a little bit on the bases, especially coming off of the ankle injury. But then he started stealing a little bit, and he ended up getting a 20-20. Personally, I love it. I'm not going to pick either one, though, just because they struck out so many times. And it sucks to say it, but these guys are going to be strikeout machines. They swing the bat, and when they swing it hard, they're going to be swinging and missing it a lot. They are two great talents, and the NL Central is going to have a heck of a time playing these guys for the next couple years. Hopefully, both teams will sign these guys, especially long-term. I think Elly is a need for the Reds. I think O'Neal is a need for the Pirates. Enough spiel about those guys. I wanted to get that out of the way. This is going to be, I don't know if this is going to be controversial enough. My top 3, in no particular order, I'm going to have Lindor, Henderson, and Bobby Witt Jr. And I am going to be picking Bobby Witt Jr. So, Gunnar Henderson, I felt like was on fire at the start. He was an MVP candidate. Kind of cooled off second half. Didn't really hear much about him. Lindor is up there with the MVP race with Shohei Ohtani. Mets fans want him to win it. I don't think he's going to win it. But he could be deserving. Lindor had a great year this year. I thought it was way better than last year. He's a reason the Mets are where they are today. And at the time I recorded this video, it was before the doubleheader. So who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But Bobby Witt Jr., this guy's a big reason the Royals went from 100 losses last year to where they are now. Batted .332, 32 home runs, 109 RBIs. I think if it wasn't for Aaron Judge being in the American League, Bobby Witt Jr. is probably your MVP. So Bobby Witt Jr., my shortstop pick. Third base, not as many options. Alec Boehm of the Phillies, Matt Chapman of the Giants, Rafael Devers of the Red Sox, Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians. Mark Vientos of the New York Mets. Eugenio Suarez of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Manny Machado, you know him from the San Diego Padres. Jazz Chisholm, the new New York Yankee, and Alex Bregman, the Houston Astros representative here, who will probably not be an Astro next year. I don't think he will. He said his goodbyes in his last home game in Houston. Who knows if he'll re-sign, but they got the playoffs to go, so who knows. Alec Boehm was on fire to start the year. He really was. He had a great year. I would love Alec Boehm's power numbers to go up, though. This guy can be legit. He can be a legit third baseman. Some of the fielding needs to improve. Matt Chapman started out slow, started heating up, and I think he's going to be... I think he just actually signed an extension with the Giants, I'm pretty sure. Rafael Devers, another solid year. What do you expect? Jose Ramirez, awesome, and I'm so mad he did not get a chance at the 40-40-40. He was at 40 doubles, 41 stolen bases, and 39 home runs. Their game, the last game of the year, got canceled, and the MLB did not reschedule it. So, no chance at a 40-40-40. He would have probably got it. Jose Ramirez is a beast. Mark Vientos, pretty cool to see him on here. He's a guy that kind of came out of nowhere, I think, this year. A big piece of the success of the New York Mets. Suarez, great year. I think this is one of the best years of his career here with the Diamondbacks. Machado, I thought, had a very slow start. Heated up like Machado usually does. Jazz Chisholm with the Marlins, not too shabby. But with the Yankees, he was a completely different guy. This guy was on fire after he got traded to the New York Yankees. And he's going to be a big piece for that team in the future. They got him under contract for a little bit. And Alex Bregman, solid year. I think numbers-wise, compared to the other guys, is kind of underwhelming, especially the 260. So, I am going to go J-Ram, Jose Ramirez. I'm a big J-Ram guy, and I'm really upset he did not get the 40-40-40 opportunity. But, like, 872 OPS, 39, 118, 279. This guy's an MVP candidate for the AL. He's going to be up there. I honestly think the top three for the AL MVP should be him, Bobby Witt Jr., and Aaron Judge in no particular order. But, yeah, those are my picks for the third baseman. Going to catcher, William Contreras of the Brewers, Yanier Diaz of the Astros, Salvador Perez of the Royals, Adley Rutschman of the Orioles, Tyler Stevenson of the Reds, cool to see him on here, Austin Wells of the Yankees, stat-wise kind of confusing, but it's a catcher, Will Smith of the Dodgers, Cal Raleigh of the Mariners, Shea Langeliers, that is, of the Oakland A's, and the Wilson Contreras of the Cardinals. The Contreras brothers, both nominated. This is a very tough one, I think, because I think it's down to a couple guys. And I think my top three, this might be a hot take, and I want to put him on here just because of my respect for what he's done this year. I think he's one of the most underrated guys in the MLB, and it's because of the team he's on, the Oakland A's. Shea Langeliers, great season. Great season. Average-wise, not there, but, like, catchers. Most catchers aren't going to have the highest batting average. Like Will Smith, 248 this year. Austin Wells on this list has been 229. Cal Raleigh, 220, but 34 home runs, 100 RBIs. I really like Shea Langeliers. He was a bright spot of the Oakland A's during their final season in Oakland, and that's a very sad story I might talk about in another video. So I'm going to put him in my top three options just because of my respect for him. Then I'm going to have Cal Raleigh. Love these numbers, 34 and 100. It was a very disappointing year for the Seattle Mariners. It really was. They underperformed greatly, in my opinion. I had them making the playoffs. But yeah. Actually, I'm going to give a top four. I wasn't going to put Cal in there, but I had to. William Contreras, amazing year for the Brewers. Big reasoning of that success of that team. 831 OPS, 2392, 281 as a catcher. You got to love that. And my last guy, Salvador Perez. You might be like, why aren't you talking about Adley Rutschman? Look at Salvador Perez's numbers compared to Rutschman's right there. If you're thinking about who your top four should be. 271, 27 home runs, 104 RBIs, 786 OPS. Yes, I'm just looking at these numbers because they're on the screen and they're just visible right now. So I don't really want to go into Baseball Reference and dig all the other stuff out. It's a lot of editing and crap. But Salvador Perez is going to be my pick. This guy, I'm a huge Salvador Perez fan. I think everyone should be a huge Salvador Perez fan. Yes, William Contreras, great year. Yes, Shea, great year. Yes, Cal, great year. Yes, everyone, a great year. Salvador Perez, he does this every year at the age he's at. It's elite. You have to respect it. And I'm going to warn everyone. This is unscripted, by the way. I'm going to try not to edit it at all. I want it to be as legit as possible. Designated hitter, you're about to see an immaculate glazing session. I am the biggest Shohei Ohtani fan you could ever ask for. I'm sorry. I'll read the names, but I'm just going to pick it right now. It's Shohei Ohtani. So here's who was nominated, and there's so many great options. And I feel bad for all these guys just because they have to share it with Shohei Ohtani. Yordan Alvarez of the Houston Astros, great year. Marcell Ozuna of the Atlanta Braves, great year. Brent Rooker of the Oakland A's had the most sleeper year I've ever seen. People were only paying attention to the Oakland A's partially because of Brent Rooker and his trade rumors and a couple other players. That's it. Brent Rooker got the A's so many wins. I think he deserves to get some MVP votes at the end of the year. Jock Peterson, great year. And then Kyle Schwarber, another great year. But Shohei Ohtani, he became the first 50-50 player in MLB history, ended up with 54 home runs. And I think it was like 60-some stolen bases. I think at the top of my head, it might be 54-50. Actually, I think it was 54-59. Yeah, 59. I don't know why I said 60. I just completely disregarded 59 stolen bases. But a 1.036 OPS. An OPS over 1,000. First year with the Dodgers. We're finally going to get to see a playoff version of Shohei Ohtani that I am very curious how that is going to go. He never got the opportunity with the LA Angels. He hops over down the highway to the LA Dodgers, and he's still doing what he was doing with the Angels, but even better. Imagine if this Ohtani, what we see with the 50-50 season, was pitching this year, and if he was doing that all while pitching. Yes, people don't want to see the NL MVP go to a DH. I completely understand. I completely understand people that say it should be a position player. I get it. But I don't think the league can undervalue a 50-50 season that has never happened in the history of the sport. Still batted .310, 130 ribbies, OPS over 1,000. This is my pick for DH. Second place, I'd honestly give it to Brent Rooker. I would pick Brent Rooker over Marcell, Yordan, Jock, and Kyle Schwarber. Those are my 1 and 2. Brent Rooker, I have the utmost respect for you. I'm a big fan of Brent Rooker, but I have to pick Shohei Ohtani. I really do. I completely get it. People don't want to just because of he's a Dodger. I don't want to pick Shohei. It's not fair to the other guys. I want to give some pity votes or whatever. They're all great players, but I have to vote Shohei. And it's going to be Shohei, so I'm going to go with it. Outfield, we have a lot more guys to talk about here. Mookie Betts, Jackson Chourio, Jarren Duran, Ian Happ, Aaron Judge, Tyler O'Neill, Brian Reynolds, Juan Soto, Dalton Varsho, Seiya Suzuki, Anthony Santander, Jurickson Profar, Jackson Merrill, Teoscar Hernandez, Riley Green, Brenton Doyle, and Corbin Carroll. I didn't say their teams just because there's so many of them I had to get through right there. So, number 1, we're going to go Aaron Judge. Easy. This guy, if him and Shohei were still in the same league, if they were both still in the AL, this would be the most crazy MVP race of all time. Like, Aaron Judge hit .322, 58 home runs, 144 RBIs, over 1,000 OPS. Shohei Ohtani, like, honestly, out of both of them, I feel like Aaron Judge would be the MVP over him just because of more home runs, way more RBIs, batted about 12 points higher. But that's an argument for another day. We don't even have to worry about that. Aaron Judge is my number 1 pick. Great numbers. I want to give some respect to some of the guys on here that I'm not going to pick. Corbin Carroll, he saved his season, in my opinion. He started out awful. I thought it was going to be a sophomore slump, but second half Corbin Carroll was very good. He brought that average up, home run totals up. Still got a lot of stolen bases, pretty good. Brenton Doyle, he's going to be a key piece of the Rockies if they're going to have any success. Jackson Chourio, great rookie year. He's been outshined, though, and not getting as much respect as he deserves since Jackson Merrill and Paul Skeens are still rookies this year. Jarren Duran, great year. Ian Happ, great year. Teoscar Hernandez, great year. We're going to get back to him possibly. I was going to skip Riley Green just because I want to talk about him later in the whole Tigers, but I'll talk about him now. So Riley Green, amazing year. I'm really high on Riley Green and the Detroit Tigers this season. What a story. What a second half for the Detroit Tigers. Riley Green, great season. I'm not going to pick him for All-MLB, but this guy is going to be a beast. He is going to be a beast. I expect a big year from him next year. I think it's going to be bigger than last year. This guy could be a 30 home run guy, in my opinion, especially if he gets more playing time. Well, he got a lot of playing time, but if he can manage to stay healthy and still hit like he is, he could easily be a 270 guy, honestly. So Riley Green, great player. Congratulations on making the list. Jackson Merrill. I'm a Pirates fan. I do not want to get into the Merrill Skeens debate for Rookie of the Year. It is so toxic. But Jackson Merrill, great year. Tyler O'Neill, great year. Jurickson Profar, this guy had one of the hottest starts I've ever seen. This guy came out of nowhere. Like, we finally got to see the Jurickson Profar a lot of people wanted to see on the Texas Rangers when he was younger. Anthony Santander, great year for the Orioles. Average-wise, probably wasn't where he wanted to be, but OPS-wise, it's where he wants to be. Great power numbers as well. Seiya Suzuki, he had a great year for the Cubs. Brian Reynolds, I think I don't want to show bias here, but Brian Reynolds gets the most. He deserves more respect than what he's given. He deserves more media spotlight than he's given, in my opinion, from the MLB, and I don't think he even cares anymore about the media spotlight because he's like, I'm just playing baseball. I love playing baseball. He's having fun, and he has the personality watching him play. It's like he's showing up to work. He does his job. Seems like a great guy. And I think he's the most underappreciated baseball player right now because no one talks about him. I think this is 4 straight seasons of, 24 home runs or better. I think at the top of my mind, 275, 88 RBIs, almost had 90. 10 stolen bases still. We got a little speed from Brian Reynolds. We got to see a little bit. And 791 OPS. Great respect to Brian Reynolds. He's not going to be on this list. But I think Brian Reynolds deserves more respect. I think he's one of the most underrated players in all baseball. Juan Soto, we are going to put on this. We are going to put Juan Soto. 2 Yankees. 288, 41 home runs, 109 RBI, 7 stolen bases, 980 OPS. Nothing else I really need to talk about there for Juan Soto. And Dalton Varsho, a great year. So I got to pick one more player in this list. And, this is tough because I think I'm stuck in between 2 people. And it's on this side. I'm stuck in between... Actually, 3 people, I guess. We're going to be stuck between these guys. The NL West. Teoscar, Jackson, and Jurickson Profar. I am going to go Teoscar Hernandez. This guy had a great year for the Dodgers. Jackson Merrill, I get it. I completely get it. If I have Padres fans in the comments somehow hating on this, I completely understand. But I'm taking into account the power totals. Teoscar Hernandez, awesome. Great season right there. 33 home runs, 99 RBIs. I think I would call this one of the best seasons, if not the best season, of Teoscar Hernandez's career. So my outfield picks, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Teoscar Hernandez. Starting pitcher, this could get messy. Look how many options we have to choose from. Jose Barrios, Ronel Blanco, Corbin Burns, Dylan Cease, Garrett Crochet, Jack Flaherty, Luis Hill, Logan Gilbert, Hunter Green, Sonny Gray, Tanner Houck, Shota Imanaga, Seth Lugo, Michael King, Reynaldo Lopez, Sean Manaea, Cole Reagans, Bryce Miller, Chris Sale, Paul Skeens, Ranger Suarez, Tariq Skubal, Christopher Sanchez, Framber Valdez, Zach Wheeler, Logan Webb. I don't really want to get into all those stats, so I am going to do my best to pick people that I think are deserving to be the top 5 pitchers in the league. This is going to be very controversial because I know there's a lot of guys that are going to be like, he had more innings than him, because there's going to be an argument that I'm going to make for a certain guy on this list to be on here because I think he should. But I'm going to start with the obvious one. Chris Sale, this is probably your NL Cy Young winner. Tariq Skubal, you're probably AL Cy Young winner. Paul Skeens, I think should be your NL Rookie of the Year, as little bias aside. This is one of the best rookie pitchers. Well, I think the best rookie pitcher we have seen since the likes of Fernando Valenzuela. He had a great rookie year. Paul Skeens, amazing. ERA below 2 your rookie year, 170 strikeouts. What more could you ask for personally? I get he did not play on a playoff team, but still, I think he's Rookie of the Year. So those are your 3. I think the NL Cy Young, NL hopefully Rookie of the Year, and your AL hopeful Cy Young. All these guys, great seasons. Just imagine a full season of Paul Skeens. Just imagine it. That's why he's on here. Now, here's the thing. Thinking of the next 2. Garrett Crochet was the topic of trade talks. Dylan Cease had a no-hitter. Blanco, I think, had a no-hitter. Logan Gilbert, great year. Hunter Green had a very sneaky year, in my opinion. Framber Valdez, great year. Zach Wheeler, great year. We are going to pick Zach Wheeler. He's on this list. He had an amazing season, as I'm just talking about him there. So we only have one more spot, and this is it's like I feel bad for not putting people on this list because you have to go through each like conference, AL/NL type of thing, each league. And there's a guy that I see here, ERA. Like, I'm a big guy of ERA. I know records don't matter, but Jack Flaherty, 194 strikeouts, almost had a 200 strikeout season, a 3.17. I think I have to pick him. I think I do. It's very tough. Like, you go Bryce Miller. You could go a guy like Logan Gilbert, who had an amazing season, honestly. Honestly, I might change my pick. Ooh, this is hard. This is very hard because... there's people, I don't care about pitching records. Let me get that off my mind right there. I have no care what all about pitching records. They don't matter. Logan Gilbert was on a very underperforming Mariners team. But then as I look down, Shota Imanaga, 291. Michael King, what a piece that was for the Juan Soto trade. Bryce Miller, another key piece for the Mariners. Mariners pitching staff was awesome. I don't know how they did make it work. Hunter Green, great year. Yikes. This is tough. I'm going to go Logan Gilbert, I guess. I'm not comfortable saying that just because there's so many good pitchers that I think all these guys have an argument, except for maybe some of them, to be in this 5. But I'm going to roll with Sale, Skubal, Skeens, Gilbert, and Zach Wheeler. There it is. And then relief pitchers. We got Jason Adam, Kyle Finnegan. I didn't read all their names, so I'm gonna just go through and pick the guys that I think. I think there's one automatic, personally, and that is Emmanuel Clase. This guy was a beast this year. I think he's gonna win a Reliever of the Year award. And that leaves the second spot. This is going to be interesting because a lot of guys were amazing this year. Mason Miller. Amazing year. He's going to be a Reliever of the Year candidate in the future. The A's making him a closer, honestly, I get it. Saving his arm. I would love to still see him as a starter. And I was kind of upset when they made him a closer, but this guy's thriving at the closer role. He's hitting 100 every single pitch. You're saving his arm by making him a closer. It's working. Ryan Helsley, he might be a candidate for this. Great year for him. I talked about him in a previous video, my Power Pitchers video, if you want to go watch that. Tanner Scott of the Marlins, well, was a Marlin. The Marlins got a haul for him, a reliever. The reliever market was just nuts. He's a candidate. Matt Strahm, candidate. There's so many. Robert Suarez, another candidate. I'd give it to 2 Cleveland Guardians if I wanted to. But I am going to give it, let's see, Jason Adam, Kyle Finnegan, Josh Hader, Jeff Hoffman. I'm going to give it to Ryan Helsley. This guy has heat. This guy has a lot of heat in his pitches, and I'm going to give it to him. I liked him for the Cardinals this year. He had a great season, 49 saves, almost got to the 50 mark. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Ryan Helsley, and we're going to review the picks. So, here we go. Here's my picks. Here's my All-MLB team. I'll go through it here. First base, I went Vlad Jr. Second base, Ketel Marte. Shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. Third base, Jose Ramirez. Catcher, Salvador Perez. Designated hitter, Shohei Ohtani. Your outfielders, in my opinion, should be Teoscar Hernandez, Aaron Judge, and Juan Soto. And the starters are going to be the most controversial, I think. Logan Gilbert, Chris Sale, Paul Skeens, Tariq Skubal, and Zach Wheeler. And your relief pitchers are Emmanuel Clase and Ryan Helsley. Those are my picks. Thank you all for watching this video. I'm going to try to post more, I guess, more up-to-date content type of thing. I'm going to be killing it, hopefully, in the off-season, especially. I'm going to do big, like, free agency recaps, I think I'm going to try to do. I'm going to also try to do more so the video essay types of things. It's a lot of making a script, finding footage on YouTube to just use or whatever, and then just editing all these videos can get kind of time-consuming. But, yeah, I tried this with no script possible. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you loved it, leave a comment. What did I get wrong? I probably got a lot of wrong in your opinions, but there's some I think we can all agree on, especially Ohtani, Aaron Judge, your Chris Sales, Paul Skeens, and Skubals. Juan Soto. Honestly, Ketel Marte should be one I think a lot of people agree on. But if you like the video, please leave a like, please subscribe, and please just follow up with the channel. I'm going to try to post more content. And yeah, thank you all for watching this video, and have a great one.